There we go.
All right, everybody.
I'm ready.
She's finally here. You know her from the franchise 90 Day, before the 90 days. Now she's on Happily Ever After. We are rooting for them to be happily ever after forever. Kimberly is here. Kimberly and our
Kimberly. Nobody says it better than Usman. I'm telling you, nobody says it better than him.
Kim. Oh my
Hi.
God.
Hi.
I was just saying before we got on, I give you credit for putting it all out there. People have so many judgments about your relationship.
It's just crazy to me. It's, I knew because Usman was coming back with moi. So I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't know like the amounts of criticism. I mean, every part of my life is just like picked apart. The only thing that isn't is Jamal. Nobody says anything about him. Oh, they ask who his dad is all the time, but whatever. But it's just crazy to me that it's so like, it's just like I posted on my proposal thing yesterday, and I had to turn the comments off because I was like, come on, like it's my beautiful moment. Take that shit somewhere else. You don't have to comment every little thing that's on your mind about my relationship with my man,
Okay, wait. Now, were people negatively commenting about you guys getting engaged? Like
about me doing it and about the fact that Usman never wears his ring and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, and everybody just has their little 2 cents. It's like, boop, 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 boop. And it's like, shut up. So I just turned the comments off. I learned to do that. And I actually texted George Mossy because him and I are pretty close. And I said, should I just turn my comments off? Like, this is crazy to me, And he was like, well, you put yourself out there. And I'm like, I know, I get so tired of hearing that.
I know, but you're like, it's not like you're doing anything controversial. You're literally just putting yourself out there and people have so much to say. It's funny, before you guys were announced on Happily Ever After, every once in a while I would catch Usman's TikTok, and you would join live. But it was interesting because you would kind of log off. Like if people got really negative, basically saying like your relationship isn't real. Why would you guys be together? He's using you for a green card. He's using you to promote his music. Okay, so did it used to bother you? I mean, because I saw you on TikTok. You'd be like, I'm out. I'm done. Like I'm out of here.
Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah, why?
It bothers me because I feel like people just think so negatively of Usman like all the time. And it's like, no matter which way he turns, no matter what he promotes, no matter what song he has coming out, somebody just has something to say. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm his biggest cheerleader. I will always be his biggest cheerleader. And then when people start to say like, why can't he just be with me because he loves me? Why does it have to be because I'm older than him or because I'm in America? Like, why does this term scammer has been used so much when it comes to him? And it's really hurt him, like business-wise. He's lost contracts. I mean, he's in a whole different country, like in his state, Sokoto is a religious state. Like people will shun him. They won't even talk to him. And it's just like, why can't we just be happy? And then people here, like, I've gotten the gift of TikTok now. So now I know, like I block, I do the same thing I do as I do on my social media. But like now, Usman has this movie that he's shooting as of today. I just got a phone with him called Yahoo Boy. And he's like, why shouldn't I bank off it? Like he should.
Oh my God.
Get called that enough,
Okay, wait. Kim, we have a million things to talk about. Okay, so he has legit lost contracts in his country of Nigeria, right? Like different, like music companies or brands there were starting to work with him and then said no. Why? Because people have said he's a scammer and he's on this 90-day franchise?
Because he's a scammer and, and because he's like with me and I'm an older white woman, and people don't think like this show is an aspect of our life, but he has businesses over there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to come on here and just be like, oh, Usman this, Usman that. I know Usman Umar better probably than he knows himself sometimes, and I just feel like people don't see except for what they saw before with his, and then myself. So people just see this one side of him and there's so much more to him than that. Like, did you know he's really funny? Like hysterically funny. He's got and we have the same sense of humor. It's really bad. So,
I believe all this. Look, I mean, he is madly in love with you. And, he said this numerous times, like he'll go on TikTok. It's very kind when you're not there and defend you. People will say things and, I'm like, it's one thing when someone defends you when you're next to them, but when they defend your name when you're not around, says a lot.
It does.
Okay, so getting this criticism that you guys have you two sat and talked and said maybe the show isn't worth it, that we shouldn't do it?
No, because why not? I mean, people are just going to hate regardless of, even if we weren't doing it and we were in private, people would still going to go. When we first signed up for before the 90 days and the trailer came out, and they showed me, I was like this little secret weapon. It was like, hello, because nobody knew about me, because we've always kept everything our friendship so private. And I feel like, why wouldn't we show our story, especially now? Like people are just like, oh, you're desperate. Oh, you're delusional. Oh, you're ugly. And same with him, right? Oh, he's a scammer. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. And it's like, now let's make money off it. Let's do it. I mean, people are already saying it. So why not,
Which is, okay, so Yahoo Boys is this Usman's first go into acting?
Oh, no. Usman's been acting since 2013. Why do I know all this? But he's been acting since 2013, and he did like series, like Nigerian series. I believe it's called like Nollywood or something. Okay. And but this movie is actually one that he helped write, and he's producing it, and he's actually acting in it too. And it was funny because he video chatted me today, and he had this like big like cut, like he's in a war or something. I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, and if you and like all this stuff is this Yahoo Boy is going to be on his YouTube channel, which is huge for him. So.
Okay, so he's going to release this. Is it a series or like a film?
It's going to be. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. And it's kind of like a parody, right, of scammers, because there is that stereotype of Nigerian men being scammers in the United States or whatever, anywhere. So it's kind of parroting that. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just shining light on like what they do. Like there's two different types of scammers, right? There's the scammers that are in your face and that are telling you all you want to hear. And then there's the scammers that are internet scammers that are like behind a computer and you never see their face. So he's doing the movie based on that. So he wants to shed light on it. And then he just thought it would be funny to do it because everybody calls him that anyway, which I thought was funny.
And Kim, I mean, clearly you're his biggest fan as well. Are you technically managing him, or you just are his advisor, just as in a couple?
No, when it comes to I don't know anything. So when it comes to his music or it comes to his movies or anything, I don't manage him. I did get him. I guess I would say I do advise him a little bit, just when it comes to his pictures, like when he was throwing up the middle finger and all his pictures. I'm like, don't do that. Like, you're better than that, But no, that's all him. Like he is, if people knew where Usman came from to where he is now, you would be shocked. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons I fell in love with him, was once I really, really got to know him and hear his life story, it was like, damn, like it's so impressive to me. And the fact that he gives back so much too, it impresses me so much, What
was the biggest thing he had to overcome that really touched you?
Poverty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just how poor his family was growing up, and then he made so much of himself and succeeding so much now.
Yeah, that's why people laugh, but he will always be my international superstar.
I love how much you love him. Okay, take us back, Kim, though, because it's been a hot second. Obviously you guys were before the 90 days. Then we had a whole season, 90 Day Fiance. Now you're back for Happily Ever After. Yeah. How did you two actually meet? And then, how quickly was it that you guys sort of got into a relationship and you knew this was something more?
Well, okay. So during COVID, I started watching the other show, that one. Yeah. And it was funny because I never watched the show until Usman Singh. But it wasn't just that. I just liked his whole vibe, like on the show, Then I started Googling him and I started like listening to his music, and I was like, okay, he's pretty good, So I messaged him on Twitter, actually, which I don't have a Twitter anymore. And I'm glad I don't, because I heard it's a scary place for people like me. So I messaged him on Twitter and I was just like, hey, I really like your music. I'm just a fan, blah, blah, blah. So about 3 days later, he messaged me back and he was like, hey, and I was like, oh, hey. And then, hi. And then we started messaging just like, like once a week or whatever. It wasn't anything like that. Then one day he said, do you have WhatsApp? And I was like, no, but I'll get it. So I downloaded it. And then it was like, I was home because of COVID, because of quarantine and stuff.
Sure.
And so then one day I woke up at like 6 in the morning, no makeup on, my hair in a big knot, pajamas, I still had a little, morning breath and all that. And he was video chatting me, and I declined it because I was like, this is weird. Why is he trying to video chat me? But then I went in the bathroom, put on my makeup, did my hair, and I called back and I was like, hey. And then we ended up talking that day for like 4 hours, and then we just got closer and closer, and we were really good friends. And he started trusting me. Like, I had to earn his trust back. Does that make sense? Because of his,
previous, sure,
yeah,
relationship. Sure.
right,
Okay.
right. Yeah. So then we just became really, 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 really good friends. And then he was like, I like you. He's like, but I don't want to like get into a relationship with you until I meet you in person. So I was like, okay, cool. So then all this big opportunity came up, and he was like, I think you'd be really good, blah, blah, blah. Now, mind you, I didn't know about this relationship he was in. And I always say that when I told him I was starting to fall in love with him, he should have told me he was in a relationship. I mean,
wait, and this was the relationship with Zara?
Yes.
Or was this okay, this was the
Yeah,
relationship with Zara. That was kind of like a girlfriend he was seeing maybe when you guys were like friends or something like that.
Yeah. And I was doing my own thing too. Like, everybody's like, oh, no, Kim was doing her own stuff too. I'm not, and then, but once I started to like catch feelings from him, because we talked every single day. I mean, it was like morning till night, calls, texts, everything. And then, when I went to Zanzibar and met him for the first time, like, that was still to this day one of the best days of my life. Like, I will never forget that, and I was so giddy, and I was so like shaking. It was like, oh, she's like a super, I was a super fan. But I was in love with him too,
Yes.
and when I met him in person, it was just like so like weird to me, because I'm like, what am I doing here? What is my life now, So yeah, that's how it started. And then, I had to repair his heart from his trust issues, and get him to know like who the real Kimberly is. And he fell in love with me too, and here we are today.
Kim, I give you so much credit that you like, I don't know if I would see somebody on I'm trying to think if I've ever seen, of course, I'm a fan, right, of all the TLC shows. So I DM all of you guys all the time, but just like, I don't know if I've ever had the courage to really like text somebody that I was attracted to on a show or really impressed by. I mean, okay, I love your confidence. You're a confident woman.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't really think it was going to go this far. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know I was going to be proposing 2 years later, and everything. And it's crazy to me. And I tell him that all the time, like, what is our life now? Like, this is so crazy to me. Like, I started out as a fan,
You were a fan. That's amazing.
Yeah. But the closer, like, the more I got to know about him, I've been to Nigeria privately, and it's just like, the more I got to know him, I just really, really liked his character, and that's the part that people don't really give him credit for, myself included. I don't give people don't really see. I think people are starting to see me now because of Happily Ever After, like seeing my personality and seeing like how him and I, we're fun. We have a good time,
Yeah.
And I think that people just think, oh, he's like, people say, oh, he just looks at her like, like he's a friend. Well, no, bitches, it's not like that. So
you guys are hooking up. You're getting what do you guys I always say it wrong, but it's like that yummy. Yeah. It's like the yummy yum.
The yummy.
Yummy.
Yeah, that was his thing.
They're getting the yummy, y'all, in real life.
Yeah. We always say hashtag yummy. That's what we say.
Kim, have you always been a confident woman? I think that's great. I love that we're in a time where women are going after what they want. And I love that more women of all ages are dating younger guys. They're dating whoever the fuck they want, the way that it should be, the way that men have done it for years, right? And unapologetically on TV. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you always been confident?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. I just started, honestly, it was, like the age thing, like everybody talks about my age with Usman, which is 18 years, and I mean, who cares? Like, I never thought about that. Like, when I proposed or when I brought him flowers in Zanzibar, like, who cares? Just because he would have brought me flowers if he would have been picking me up from the airport, and he has done that, or gifts or whatever. Like, I've never been really that confident. I've always had like really low self-esteem and everything, but like, he makes me feel beautiful. He gives me that confidence after years of, mentally challenging relationships. He's helped make me into the woman I am today. Like, right now, you can't tell me anything. And all these trolls are like, you're so ugly. I'm like, whatever. But I just feel like but I feel like now, like, I feel like he's really, I don't really, I've always known like I'm a good person, I'm a nice person, you know, and I'm genuine and all that. And I've always known I was pretty, but he makes me feel beautiful without all this on and no makeup and just no bra and just my hair in a big knot. You know, that's how Usman loves me. And he'll tell you the same thing. That's just how it is with him and I, you know, and it takes a lot of confidence to be on the show. Like I didn't really have it. And my friends were so worried about me and Jamal and my mom, you know, they were worried about how I was going to take all the trolls and how I was going to deal with all the dislike that I receive, you know? And I just have to look at it like these people don't know me. They don't know Kim. They don't know me. You
No,
know?
and isn't it wild? I always think, what is going on with someone that they would take the time to go to your page and tell you you're ugly or Usman, you shouldn't be with him or I mean, really? Like, what is
Yeah.
going on in your own life that
Right. And I
feel
feel like
compelled to
sometimes
do that?
I feel like sometimes because I did take the initiative and I did message him first, and I did propose and I did bring him flowers and I did do this, I think people are threatened by that. And I think people are threatened with the fact that they know it's a real thing and we're not fake, you know? And I
Yeah.
think people are threatened by that because we are so culturally different. We are so different in age and we are two different races, you know? But like, who cares? My mother never raised me to be like, prejudiced about anything ever, you know. And my brother was a homosexual. I'm you know, I date outside my race. Like I was brought to just love people for who they are and what's in their heart. And that's, I'll always be that way regardless if things work out with Usman and I or not. I'm always going to be that way, you
Oh
know.
yeah. I mean, isn't it wild? You just you living your unapologetic life is threatening to people, you know,
It's
for
so
sure.
crazy. It's so
It's so
crazy. I'm like, why are you so pressed? Leave me alone.
out. Um, but okay, so how did that's interesting. Your family and friends were worried about you doing this show. And then what have you found? I mean, have you found that it's actually made you more confident, or it's Usman that his love for you, just the way you are, has made you more confident? Because I mean, it sounds like they were really concerned about your mental health, but you're continuing to be on the show.
Yeah, because I have to look at, I have to look at this whole experience. I have to look at the positive sides of it, you know. I try not to get like down, but I have my days, you know, I have my days where I'm just like, God, like how many times can I just take this shit and take it and take it and take it, you know? So I've learned about hidden words, I've learned about deleting comments, I've learned about blocking people and everything. And then I do have a lot of support too. I hate to always talk about the negative because I have a lot of people, followers that really like me for who I am, you know, and I get a lot of positive DMs too, you know. And then like with Usman, I just feel like when somebody prior relationships, when somebody's telling you you're ugly or somebody's telling you, you know, that they're just with you for certain reasons, you know, I feel like this relationship that I'm in now, that we've grown it to be what it is today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's things I don't like about Usman. Like nobody ever asked me that. There's things there's things, it's always about me. It's like never about like what the hell I don't like about him. There's plenty of things I don't like about Usman, you know? And
Like
everything.
what? You got to tell us now. You got to tell us like what?
Because sometimes he talks to me like when I first met him in Zanzibar. And I know it's like just his way of talking. Like I was eating one day and I always fixed his plate. Like I know him, you know. And then one day I was eating and he just gave me his plate. He's like, go get me chicken. I'm like, go get me chicken, please. So, or if I was like, if he was walking somewhere and I was doing something, he'd be like, Kimberly, come. And I'm like, so when I went to Nigeria privately, we went out to eat a lot. We stayed in like an Airbnb and stuff. And we were at this restaurant and he was like, go get me chicken, go get me rice. And then I was like, and he was like, please, please go get me chicken. He's like, see, Kim, but it's like little things like that. Like he's very, it's a lot. It's a lot to be his girlfriend, you know? And it's a lot because I deal with a lot of like his fans DMing me going like, oh, he sends me screenshots. And I'm like, show me proof, bitch. If you don't have proof, don't just leave me alone, you know? Or,
Oh, yeah, I
yes,
was going to say, well, how do you deal with his groupies? I mean,
oh, they really don't bother me. And I feel like if somebody like we have officially been together, it was the end of March of 2021, right? So I always say, whatever happened before that, I don't care. I don't care. Anything that happened after March, then I'm coming to Nigeria. We're gonna have a problem. But and it's the same with him. Like, you know, he gets DMs about me. I'm like, oh, like your girl was texting me, whatever. And it's like, show us proof. If you don't have proof, shut the fuck up. So that's how
All right, let's talk about this season because I got so many things I want to ask you. This season is so vulnerable and like raw, right? How awkward. I mean, it was awkward to watch. How awkward was it to be in that room with his mother, his brothers, after you had purchased the cow, which then they saw as a bribe? I mean, was that as awkward? And was it a much longer? Of course, we're only seeing, right, the 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh,
but like, I mean, did it go on and on? Talk to us about that.
So the scene where I met his mom for the first time and his sister, and first off, his family is absolutely beautiful, and I have nothing but respect for them. But I was so worried about my veil kept coming off, and I was worried about that. And then like before the cow, I gave him like little gifts, like these little bracelets and that, just little stuff, because I was brought up to believe when you go to visit somebody for the first time, you bring them a gift. The cow came in at the wrong fucking time, I'm telling you, because it was so tense. But I was nervous, and I was nervous because it'd be like meeting any boyfriend's family, I guess, or whatever, but to know they're so set in their ways, and talking to them was like talking to a brick wall. It was like talking to this wall behind me. They could not get over things that had happened in the past with Usman and his other relationships. So I was trying to like convince them to see me, but they didn't see me, and it was awkward as hell. And there's a part, even now it hurts me to watch that. Like I'll go back and watch that scene because that was just my heart. And Usman said that afterwards on the drive home. He said he was upset because they could just not see me. And he said he wishes they could just cut my heart open so they could just see me, And it was hard because when they brought in that fucking cow, I was like, damn it. We laugh about it now. But it was hard. It was hard. It was like facing a judge and jury, and I hadn't even done anything. And I felt like because of his previous relationship, they just were never going to see me for who I am. And then when I met them the second time, when they started, I was talking about, Jamal, and I was talking about my mom, and I was talking about my friends and my past military experience. And I felt like that's when they were like, oh, okay, like she's a human being, like she's a real person, And they like, I could have went in there and said, I'll adopt 12 babies, and they were not going to have it that first time. But it was so awkward. And poor Usman was just in the corner like this. And he was crying. He was upset that they couldn't see him. And if you look at certain scenes, you could see he was really upset,
Kim, where's your relationship with them now? Has it gotten better? Are you like on any sort of WhatsApp terms with his mom or brothers? No.
You gotta keep watching.
Oh, we gotta keep. Okay. We gotta keep watching, see how it unfolds. Okay. Explain the whole first wife thing to us. Okay. So you and Usman are engaged. You really want to be the first wife. Where we've left it so far in Happily Ever After is, Usman's mom wants him to meet this woman. If he can meet another woman, make her his wife, have a child, it seems like they're cool with you. Okay. But what's the difference between a first wife, second wife, third wife? Why, and is that still important to you?
I mean, I feel honestly, and this is no bullshit, I feel like I really have to hold my ground on some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be like, I'm already sacrificing a lot, this is totally not my norm. It's not our norm here. And I feel like I'm sacrificing a lot because I love him. So I have to keep my standard at some point, and I feel like in previous relationships, I've always been like pushed aside. I've always been, something's always more important than Kim, and I'm not going to let anybody make me feel that way. There's certain things that I have said watching back, and I'm like, that's not how I meant this, and this is what I'm talking about with the second wife. I would certainly never call, I know I said it, a baby maker. And I feel really bad that I've said these things, I truly do. And people are going to be like, oh, she's full of shit, whatever. I don't care. When Usman came to me with this, I knew going into this relationship that he wanted to have children. I would be remiss if I did not let him do that. I've already enjoyed this wonderful experience of raising my son,
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be fair. It's not fair for me or be selfish of me to let him go and have a child, And I feel like now that, we're more into things, I would definitely want to be in these children's lives. I would definitely I'll send them Christmas presents. I don't want to raise them, but I'll, I would definitely be like more of a part. And I shouldn't have said the things that I said about like calling her a baby man. I definitely shouldn't have said that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But when Usman tells me certain things, I tend to believe it. And I know you guys can see through the show. He tells me half the fucking story. And then I'm like, hi. I get there and then I'm throwing milkshakes and stuff, you know?
Kim, if you could wave a magic wand, now that you and Usman, I mean, have been together nearly 2 years. I mean, if you could wave a magic wand, what would the relationship look like in the next like 3 years? I mean, would you get married? Would you have him live here? Would he have wives in Nigeria?
Okay.
Would he have like, what would it look like?
Well, first, you know, it's all about this mom's blessing. And then I really feel like in my perfect world, I would marry him in Nigeria because I would want his family to be around us, you know, and then have Jamal there. And then I would want to apply for his stuff here, have him come here like we do like both, you know, like 3 months here, 3 months there, 6 months here, 3 months there, you know. And then I want one good year, just one good year, just him and I. You know what I mean? He's still young, right? One more year, just him and I as husband and wife. And then he goes and does what he has to do and marries this beautiful second wife and has a couple children and everything. I just feel like like when I proposed to him and everything, I didn't propose just to, you know, maybe a little bit. I mean, I didn't propose just to like, because he was going to meet this, you know, this potential whatever the second day or the next day. I did it because regardless if we don't get the blessing or not, like I want him to know I'm still going to be his friend. Like I'm still going to be there. We've been through so much shit that I would be dumb if I was just like, cut the ties, like bye, you know, but I'm standing my ground with shit. And I'm not going to just sit there and be like, okay, I'll be the fifth wife. Like that's just not going to happen.
Because basically the first wife just has a priority, right? Like they ultimately get the most respect. They probably to some degree get the most time from the husband, right?
That's what he told me. So right now I'm just like, okay, so because this is what Usman tells me. And then when I make a statement or something, then I go online, it's like, you're dumb. This is not, you know what I'm saying? But yes. But of course, the second wife would get love too because she's having the children. You know, he's always going to have a bond with her. I was just like Usman will tell you himself. I hope you're going to interview him, but he'll tell you like the connection we have is just crazy. It is so crazy, and people just
see
don't get it.
People are crazy. I mean, because I see it on his TikTok. You can see it the way you guys connect. I mean, that's actually interesting with him finding a second wife. I mean, do you almost worry now? Because he's famous in his own country, right? And becoming very popular there. I mean, do you worry that these women are not even going to be sincere about him? Like, are you concerned?
No, I feel like Usman I think it's Usman and his family that will pick this second wife, right? And I feel like he will pick the best one for him, you know? And I want that. Like, that's what people don't understand. And it's been since first season when this was brought up. I want him to have kids. Like I think Usman will be a great father. If I could go back 20 years, I would pop out like 4 if I could, but I can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't. And like, I don't want to, he would resent me later on, like 20 years down the road. And I don't want that, you know, I just don't want that for him or myself.
Let's talk some rapid fire questions here. Okay. I had read that Usman's net worth is $75,000 now, that he's like bank cashing in on Cameo, the music. Yes. I mean, do you think that's a lot of money in Nigeria. That's a lot of money. Do you think that's how much money he's made since being on the show?
I think Usman's probably made more than that, but I think he did. And he's really successful there. And he has like a trucking business. He has so many other ventures that he's getting into that, like, I mean, and people are like, oh, he's using this platform to do his music. Why the fuck shouldn't he? He should. Why not?
Anybody that now gets on any television show, I don't care what it is, you are bananas not to have some product that you are promoting, because all the smart people do. I mean, from Bethany Frankel, every franchise.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
It's crazy not to be promoting yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm gonna start doing, because I'm like, no, I do little bits, you know.
Now, I also read that Chrissy Teigen is a fan of his. Okay. Yes. How do we know this? Has she DM'd him? Has she reached out to you? Do you know that to be true?
No, if she reached out to me, I might pass out. But I know it's true. And why I know that is because she did a petition on Twitter. She started like some petition or on Twitter or something to get Usman on Cameo. And then when I was over there, she actually her assistant ordered her a cameo from Usman, and it's the one that he posts all the time. And so he always thanks her, because if it wasn't for her, he would have never gone on Cameo. So yeah.
I did not realize Chrissy Teigen is the one that got him
Yeah.
on Cameo.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Has she ever, okay, did she ever respond to Usman and say, oh my God, I love the cameo. You guys are terrific. I mean, did he ever hear a follow-up?
Yeah, they show, I think she follows him, but I'm not sure. But I know that she'll repost his cameo, like there were cameos from him. She reposts them and stuff. So it's really cute. And then I told him, I said, if you ever get to the States, that's got to be like your first phone call. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, I want to take her out to dinner, because like she helped him. With his cameo money from that one season. It's not mean. I call it that one season. You know, that one.
That old one.
That old season.
Yeah.
He built his house, he bought a car. I mean, he did, so like his house in Sokoto, the house we were in, that's the same house we were in when I met his mother for the first time. So, and it's beautiful. I did like a little fake MTV cribs, and I have a Snapchat of that, but yeah, he's very successful there. Like when I went previously, I don't pay for my plane tickets. I don't pay for anything. And then I don't know if you knew this, when my mother passed away in January, Usman paid for like all my bills for like 3 or 4 months, so I could just take the time off and grieve. And like, that's what people don't understand about our relationship, or, you know, people think he's just sucking me for money. I don't have that much. So, you know, but he really helped me. Like I didn't even have to ask for anything. And he one day texted me and he's like, what's your bank account number? And I'm like, why? what do you need? No,
you're a sugar baby. Kim, you're a sugar baby.
No, I'm not no sugar baby, but that's the part of him that people don't understand. And he helped me so much, so I could stay home and I could grieve and I didn't have to worry about things. And I'll never, ever, regardless of what happens with us, I will never, ever forget him for that. He's my best friend.
Look, and it breaks my heart that you lost your mom, right? Because we saw some scenes with your mom. I'm curious, and I'm so close with my mother. I don't even want to think about the day. You know, it's so hard. I'm sure you think about her every day.
Every day.
What did she think of the show? What did she think of your relationship? You know, did she have a blessing for you guys? Did she want you guys to work out?
Yes, let me tell you, my mother loved her some Usman, okay? And he would call her all the time. She never had one bad feeling about him. Never, not one. Maybe because, you know, we would fight, but she always took his side if we argued and stuff, like on the phone. She always took his side. She was really happy about me with the show and everything, because my mom was there. My mom was she's my biggest support system. She's always just been there for me, like me alone, you know? And I mean, she was my umbrella, and now I'm out here in life just doing all this stuff on my own, you know? And it's like, I know I'm 52, but it's like, oh, Mom, you know? But she loved him. And when he would call her every single day and he would say, Mommy, like really loud, Mommy, and she goes, soldier boy. It was just like their thing, you know? And she never, of course she was concerned, you know, I mean, she had her mother concerns, you know, but she always loved him. Like she just like, I just love him. I love him for you. That's just how my mom was, you know. And she said, she never saw me. She said it during the show. She never saw the smile on my face until I was with him, you know. And I'm doing better. I have my good days and bad. Like I said, but you know, Jamal's here now, so that helps me a lot too. But it's just like, there'll never be, I feel like all this success I'm having and all this positive, like it's always there. You know what I mean? Like I just miss her so much. And I know she's watching down on me, and I know that she's proud of me and everything, but it's hard. I was just talking to Jamal about this the other day. It's like, it just doesn't go away. You know, it doesn't go away. And I'm worried about, I was telling I got my nails done today, and I was talking to my nail lady, and I told her, I was like, you know, cause she used to do my mom's nails too. And she was like, and I was like Christmas is coming up, and it's like, God, this is my first one without her. You know what I mean? But I'm still going to decorate. I have to know that she is smiling down on me and on Usman as well. You know, she loved her some Usman. It was really cute.
I have to ask you about Jamal. Jamal, he's like become a runaway star. All right. I feel like I had read somewhere or heard you say, I mean, do you like that people find him so attractive, or it kind of irritates you that all these women are after Jamal all the time? Like, how do you feel about your son
I
being
mean,
such a hottie?
you know what bothers me about it is people will ask me like, or they'll write in a comment, they'll be like, he must be adopted. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, that is my child, you know, that
That's
is my son.
horrible.
But
People say that shit to you?
people say he must be adopted or he must look a lot like his dad or whatever. And Jamal looks just like me. Sorry, he has the same features as I have. So, but I think it's funny when women DM me about Jamal. I think it's really funny because they'll be like, "Can you be my mother-in-law?" Or they'll be like, "Hook me up with your son," or whatever. And I'm like, "Ew!" Like, go to him. You know, like I don't want people to think I'm pimping out my child. You know.
What is okay? I mean, Jamal's reaction on the show is so funny. I mean, he's your voice of reason, but I mean, that scene when you're getting ready to go see Usman and Happily Ever After, and you're playing his music, and at first Jamal is just like, "Oh God," he just, he's so his reactions to you are hilarious.
Like the deadpan face, like, oh yeah.
Anything on the show so far, whether it was before the 90 days or this season, has he ever come to you and gone like, "Mom, it's too much"? I mean,
Yes.
like, okay, what was?
Yes. Oh, remember on Before the 90 Days, the pink nightgown episode, and Jamal, I was actually in Nigeria watching that, and Jamal was like, "What the?" Like, I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I've apologized. I take accountability for everything, and I don't know. I just think that like he's such a good support system for me. And at the end of the day, he wants me to be happy, and I don't know what the future holds, but I know that like Jamal's always going to be there for his mom, and everything. But he gives it to me. But let me tell you, he'll be like, "Mom, what the fuck were you thinking?" And I'm like, I know.
You guys do pillow talk together. For some
Yes.
reason, people are fixated on the refrigerator that they see in the background in your living room. What
I
is
love
the deal?
you. Okay, I wish I could take you on a tour of my house right now, but it doesn't look good. Okay, this was my mother's house. Okay, and I'm currently in the process of keeping it. And when my mom redecorated, we've had this house has been in my family since 1943, I think, or 45. My grandfather bought it. Okay, so when my grandmother passed away, she gave my mom the deed to this house. So my mom, our kitchen is really small. It's a typical San Diego little 2-bedroom house. And my mom wanted a stackable washer and dryer and like a long pantry, and it was just cupboards. So she got the washer and dryer, but she forgot about the damn refrigerators. And I think I know, and I love it, and it's quirky, and it's funny because I got so many comments on Pillow Talk where people are like, "You live in a hotel." Well, first of all, a hotel wouldn't have a refrigerator that big. Shut the fuck up. Or that it's like a studio apartment, But it's funny, and I think I'm actually going to redo the house once I get it more secure. I'm going to redo it, but I'm going to leave the refrigerator out there because it's a story, and it's a part of who my mom was,
Oh my God, leave it. It's great. I love when people find those things and talk about it. And it's like, for whatever reason, I mean, you and Jamal are great together. People are like fixated on the damn refrigerator. I'm like, all right.
Another little trivia about Pillow Talk is my mother's ashes are in the china cabinet behind it. Ha!
People talk about your cabinets too. They're like, "Why doesn't Kim clean our cabinets?"
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
Tell them
up.
I'll pay them. They can come over my house and clean.
Oh my God. Okay, last question. You launched a body spray. I want to see, and I love the body spray by Kimberly. Kimberly, it's okay. Why a body? This is like your first product, right? I mean, I know you and Usman are working on a lot of things. Obviously, he's got this acting project coming out,
and we have a couple
music.
Things.
You do it. You have a couple. Now, what businesses together?
I think so. I thought because the name Kimbali is so like popular, I thought about like T-shirts, like keychains, tumblers, things like that. And then, it's hard because we are in 2 different countries, so it's kind of hard to negotiate things. But Usman and I talk, and we have plans for a lot of things. So, but my body spray is from beautykitchenjunkie.net, Heather Mariana. She is the one that came up with the concept of it. She sent me a whole bunch of things for the designs and everything. And at first when I did it, I was scared to put it out because so many people are just haters, and I was scared to put it out. Then I was like, you know what, fuck it. I mean, I got to do it, and it's actually done quite well. And I want people to buy more, and then
great.
but it's going to be a collection. There'll be like me, and then we're going to do one for Usman, and then possibly one for Jamal. And then I'm doing one in honor of my mother with gardenia, because that was like her scent. And then I want people to like enjoy it. And then like the labeling is so funny. If you read the back, it says like, if you're in a different country and, you know, or you're on a layover for 8 hours, spray this, you know, and it works. I sent you a bottle. You really liked it, right?
You haven't sent me one. No,
I thought you got one.
No, I gotta get one. You will. You will.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to put it on my social media and promote.
It's really good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then, I just started branding for the teeth whitening company that does my teeth whitening. And I got a lot of like things coming up just for myself. So I'm excited about that. But I'm really excited for this movie with Usman too. I think it's going to be cute. And I love the way he just made it his, you know, I love that.
When will Yahoo Boys drop on his YouTube?
Probably at the end of next month, I'm sure, because they have to do editing. He's actually filming today, so.
And this is the final question. I know you've been so amazing. I could talk to you for 2 hours, and you know what?
I love you.
I'm in LA, so at some point I'm going to get to San Diego. We're going to have to get together.
We can meet halfway.
We got to meet halfway
for lunch or something. Yeah, definitely.
We will definitely meet in person. But you know, being a fan, you suddenly during the pandemic became a fan of TLC shows. Who's a couple you enjoy watching?
Ari and Benny, no question.
Really?
Ariella and Benny, I love them. Today's her birthday, by the way. Hi, happy birthday. But she, like when they first announced me and me being with Usman, she was the first one to reach out. I think Benny is just a hustler, and I love this MMA fighting and all the stuff he's trying to do, and the way she helps people in his country, I think is truly humbling. And I just love them. And like, I can call her and be like, oh my God, this is what it is. She'll be like, calm down, it's okay. And I love Yara and Jovi too. I love Yara and Jovi. I love Yara. She's fucking funny as hell.
She's hysterical. All right. Look, we love you so much. Tell people where they can follow you. You're on Instagram. Tell the website for the body spray again. And of course, happily ever after, you know, new episodes.
I know. I love you, Sarah. Thank you so much. I've been wanting to do this for a while. So thank you so much. And you can get my lovely body spray at beautykitchenjunkie.net or beautykitchen.net. I'm sorry. And then on Instagram, it's Beauty Kitchen Junkie or Heather Mariana. Okay. The skincare. And then my Instagram it's Kimberly90. My Facebook is Kimberly Dawn, because it's my middle name. Okay. And my TikTok it's Kimberly90. And I love you. I follow you on everything too.
I'm so much fun. Look, I think it's so brave you guys put your lives out there. And you know, it's so fun to watch you. It's fun to be a fan. I hope people realize you guys are real fucking people. So like, yes, it's fun to talk about your lives, but I mean, there's some point, there's a line. So I just appreciate everything you do, and hugs to Usman, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thank you. Jamal wants to say hi. He's right here.
Jamal, get over. Hi, Jamal. Jamal, get in
he
here.
said he can. He just woke up. So
all right.
All right. I love you.
Bye,
Thank you so much.
You got it. See ya.